trade, brilliant man. I'm sure it's going to be too complicated for him to figure out where the penis goes. I'm sure that he's going to be super
and like,
confused by
okay,
that.
pretty much any athletic endeavor I've ever tried to like I don't know, conquer, I've been very successful at.
You can conquer the
so
vagina.
I would probably figure out pretty quickly and pretty successfully how to please my wife.
But how does that make you like feel knowing that she's been with this many people?
That goes into a whole lot of other things. It's less than ideal. I would definitely say so because there's emotional baggage, there's relationship baggage.
Is that emotional baggage?
Oh yeah, because all of a sudden you've made these.
Warlord 69, you donated $69 to the fishnet girl. Are you just mad that Mason will never go for a girl like you or anyone
Who's
in
a
the
fishnet
least?
girl? I'm the fishnet
Just
girl.
because you didn't save yourself for anyone doesn't mean you deserve a king.
I genuinely
69.
think Mason is probably a very nice man. Mason is nowhere near my type. I apologize, but not apologize. But no, could we be friends? 1,000%. I'm just trying to understand
his mindset.
Your mindset and like for women and especially in this generation, because I have a hard time finding men that aren't wanting to sleep with 7,000 people at the same time. So with you saying you don't want that.
Yeah. Well, it sounds
for
like
me,
you may be looking for the wrong type of guys. Because there are guys out there.
No, there are.
Well, okay, so I can use my church as an example. I know I could list 5 guys off the top of my head. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to dox them online. But I know 5 guys off the top of my head who are incredible men. They make good money. They can provide for a family easily.
Money means nothing.
And I can only find
and
them
they're also really godly men. Like they're solid guys. And girls won't touch them because one, they're usually reserved. They kind of keep to themselves. They're introverts. And girls don't usually like socially awkward dudes. But they would be incredible husbands. So maybe people are just kind of looking for the wrong type of person. Maybe people are generally going
1,000%.
after the frat guy who sleeps around
you,
with like a million
very quickly
chicks.
think about this thing that you said, right? I'm used to guys just wanting to hump everything that they see. And you look at Mason, you say, "Hey, I'm sorry, Mason, you're not my type." Perhaps there's a correlation here. Perhaps there's a correlation.
Okay, hold up.
Your type and the type of guy who does that.
Podcasts. The big difference is that Jerry Springer starts losing his mind 40 minutes into the show. Need a visual showing steam out of his ears.
The one thing, Andrew, I will tell you is it's not that he's not my type because of his moral values, because I share those same values. It's just I don't physically find him attractive. And that's just me as a person. And that's just who I am. And I'm not trying to be rude, and that's not nice.
I'm very confused, though, about this line of inquiry towards Mason. What exactly is it that you're trying to figure out here in plain English without beating around the boat, right?
I'm not beating around the boat. I'm just saying, like, okay, so what do you want from a girl? Because you're just talking to a girl. Like, is she the same? Does she not have the same morals as you? Like, what are you looking for? It's not.
Yeah, but he answered. He's looking for a chaste Christian woman who's going to be a good wife to him. That's what he's looking for.
But find that in this generation, please, because that doesn't exist anymore.
Well, actually,
I'm not saying it's.
I'm that woman.
What do you mean it doesn't exist anymore?
It exists.
I mean, I wish I knew.
Okay, well, so
I'm that woman, just to clarify. I go to church every Sunday.
There you go.
I'm that woman.
Statement.
Like, I do not sleep around. I'm very, very careful with who I date.
No, and neither am I.
I'm looking for a husband only. Like, so I'm that woman.
Yeah. No, but I don't mean that.
I think. So I think people get really offended. I'm not saying you're offended, but a lot of people will get offended by this line of questioning because it immediately eliminates most of the female population, because most of the female population has been sleeping around. Whereas a good guy, generally good guys, are going to look for women who have not been whoring themselves out to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks around the street.
Same thing in partners.
But I don't think so, because regardless of the way that I dress or the way that I look, I am the same way. I can count on one hand the people that I have been with in my entire. Can you get a little
closer to the mic, please?
I can count on one hand the people that I've been with in my entire life. Like
that's awesome, great.
And I'm 30 years old. I'm not sleeping around by any means, and I'm not trying to look down on that. But I'm trying to understand as a man and this culture trying to find a wife, a girlfriend, or someone to be a companion with, how do you do that? Because people that I know, people that I work with, people that I see, women my age, that is not real. I am an anomaly, even the way that I look.
Well, I can tell you how you go about doing this so that you understand.
Okay.
Step 1, you go and you get a passport. And
I have
step
one.
2, you fly the
Yes.
fuck to a different country where chicks aren't fucking
Thank you.
lunatics and insane, and you marry one of them. And then you stay there in that country.
So
That's what you
Americans
do.
are insane,
Like,
right?
that's what you do if you want to find one of those chicks, because you're right, they are rare here,
Indeed.
but not everybody shares the feminist lunatic values of modern American women.
But I don't, exactly, and I don't, but I shouldn't really say that.
Yeah.
I almost said something I probably don't want to get in a discussion in. I am not the biggest feminist in the room. I'm not going to lie to you. So, yeah.
That's not controversial.
No, okay, yeah.
She
Well,
said, ooh.
No.
you're right. It is.
I have my own
Hold on.
thoughts.
TTS,
Tattoo
stop.
Cheeks donated $200.
Chat, can you hear
Mason,
hear this? Yes or
I'm
no?
on your side when I say this,
The
but
TTS.
just get into soft guy summer. You need an 8-figure salary earning woman to pay your bills, be under 127 pounds, and virgin. Drizzle, and a passport.
Hi, beaten cheeks. No, yeah. So
Yikes.
it is. Yeah, you're right. It's very difficult. But just because something is difficult doesn't mean I'm going to lower my standards.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
and I apologize.
It's taken
I
a
didn't
very,
say
very
it like-
long
I
time
didn't mean
for
to
me.
sound like
No,
that.
no. Yeah, no. We're just having a
For sure. For
spirited
sure.
discussion. I don't take this stuff personally. I'm passionate about this subject. I think it's important. I think people at home need to realize that this is an important subject. Who you spend the rest of your life with is extremely important.
is.
So which is the reason why I do not lower standards,
And their
no
values,
matter what.
And their values they
And-
bring to your home, your family, your kids, and things like that.
Yeah. And when you do lower your standards, terrible things happen.
Yes.
That's
and
where
sleeping
divorce
with
comes
that
from.
many people, yes, it's correct.
Men just don't want whores.
It's pretty simple.
We don't want
Neither.
whores. We don't want women who have high body counts.
I mean, neither do we.
We don't want the fucking town bicycle.
I mean,
We can't see
yeah.
Andrew hide that.
Yeah, neither
just-
do women, honestly.
Yeah. No, and I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't speaking down. I was just simply.
The higher the body count, the less deserving
True.
the less
But
deserving
that's honestly
Vice
true.
versa.
of a
Because
relationship.
you're bringing, and what are you teaching my kids? And like, same with
What?
men. So you sleep with a million women. What are you going to
It's like
teach
a
my
double
daughter?
standard. Like both, it goes
It's-
both ways.
Well, that's,
Well, that's what
honestly
I-
another thing with me. But
That's
women
just the
and men
logical,
sleeping
yeah.
with, never mind. But you're correct. Women should be very self-contained. You have no business running around doing that.
All right, guys.
Things.
TTS has been boosted. It's at should be at the higher
Do you mind
threshold.
if I ask a very quick follow-up question,
Go ahead.
Brian?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'd like to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You said earlier, I got it in my notes here, that you think you share the same values as Mason over there. Which values of those do you think you share?
I believe that women should not be sleeping around. I believe that women should hold themselves in a higher standard. I understand the way that I'm dressed. I'm very aware of that. But at the same time, I don't believe that, how do we say this? Like, I would never want my children to look like me. I would never want my children to be a bartender. I would never want my children to do any of those things. I want my children to be educated. I want them to be respected. I want them to be somebody in this world.
Well, then why do you do that shit?
To be perfectly honest, well, obviously, I come from a very hard background, and the way my education works, this is where I am financially in a freedom space, and I can do what I can do.
I say this with the most love, and I say
That's
this as a fellow
Yeah.
woman who's been in the military, like especially if you're going down the path of like going in the Marine
Yeah,
Corps.
for sure.
I strongly encourage you, especially if you're advocating for your daughters and things like that, to dress differently, act the part, because
for sure.
you're going to bring shame. We already in the military community, women in the military,
1,000%.
we already deal so much, like in the super chats alone, etc. Like me, the fact that I'm in the military, I'm going to get a million comments tearing me apart. The way you're dressed right now is going to bring shame on the military female community.
No, 1,000%. You know what's really, really funny is I didn't want to wear this. A million people told me to wear this. A million people tell, oh, this is fun, this is this is that. This is how I dress on a day-to-day basis. This isn't who I am as a person. This isn't what I wanted. But everybody, oh, you're going on this, do this, dress this, do that. No, this is not who I am.
Just to be clear, that's not from us.
No, that's not from you. I'm not saying no.
The way you're framing it,
that is not from them.
it.
No.
Okay.
That is not from them.
Yeah.
Then that is from my own personal situation, and that is something that I have to reflect on as a human being, and I will take that home, and I will understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm also very aware that, no, would I want my child? No.
But I will also
wouldn't.
tell you, I've heard you say a couple of times now that you come from a really hard background.
I
and
do.
I just want to want to pour into you for a moment, pour some
Sure.
love and light into you. So I too come from a really hard background. Like, you don't have to use that as an excuse. Like,
It's
you don't-
not an excuse. This is not an excuse.
Hold on, but you keep saying that the reason why
It's
I'm
not a
making
reason
these
why. That's not what I'm saying.
choices.
It's not choices. That's not what I'm saying. Me saying that I come from a hard background, exactly. It is a context. That's not me saying it's a choice. That's not me saying that this is an excuse.
I come from a hard background and I'm not dressed like that.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not saying the way that I dress has anything to do with where I came from. That has nothing to do with it. Because as a conservative woman, I can dress how I want.
I mean, just observation here. Conservative women would never dress like that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
There's different tiers of.
There is
of
not
all of
though,
those
but
opinions.
see,
I-
as a
it doesn't
conservative
need to
woman,
be.
I understand where she's coming from because I have no standpoint on anything. It's really not. How do I say this without being mean? So I won't do it. So what I'm going to say is I genuinely understand where you're coming from, and I see what you're saying. I do, because but I am very conservative. You may not see that in the way that I look right now, but I am very conservative. My moral views and who I am as a woman is very different than my appearance to you. And that has nothing to do with my background. Nothing.
Sorry, I only said that because I thought that you were saying
no,
that.
But
I wasn't trying to make an assumption. I
you're
thought
not,
you said
but
that.
But I'm trying to explain. My background has nothing to do with my life. My life is about choices. I made the choices my entire life. From the time that I was very small until now. I made the choices where I am now.
Got it.
But coming from a hard background, I say that in like...
Can you guys wrap this up, please?
Yeah.
Like, you each get one
done.
final...
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
done. Go ahead.
That's fine.
No, you guys can each make one
No,
final point,
it's-
but I
I
got to
just-
move it on.
No, just move it on. Just move it
Yeah,
on.
go ahead.
All right. Okay. We're going to get into our first topic. Nick, I need you to start pulling it up. All right, Tobey Maguire, famous movie star, A-list celebrity, #1 Spider-Man. I don't know, this was kind of going viral recently. He's 49. He's dating a 20-year-old. Actress Lily Chi. Scroll down a little bit, Nick, so we can see some of the other stories. It was on Daily Mail. People are having mixed thoughts on this. So he's 49. She's 20. And just pull up the next tab. What's the next tab? Some photos here. So they responded to the party recently. What's the next? Click the next one. The next, no. Yeah, that one. Okay. So 49, 20. They're dating. Cool. So do you guys object, any of you object going around the table to the
Beaten Cheeks
age gap
donated
right after this?
$200. Conservative women dress conservatively. As in, not look like a whore. As a real military vet, Mason, don't join. The military is run by feminists and women in awful roles thinking they know everything.
Yeah.
I'm not a feminist. I love it.
I've heard, I've gotten this comment a lot. I'm still going to join the military. The community I'm trying to get into, I'm trying to go into AFSPEC war, dominated by a lot of very conservative men. I know that there are aspects of the military that are feminist, pro, whatever, but from the pararescuemen I've talked to, actual guys in the career field, has very little to do with the day-to-day job. The day-to-day job is still awesome. It still speaks to me at like a very deep level. It's exactly what I want to do. So I understand the sentiment, but again, if we want to fix the problem, not doing